Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, November 9th, the day after a momentous election in the United States of America and Arkansas. For those of us on the Democratic progressive side of the occasion, it couldn't have been a worse day. Donald Trump has been elected President of the United States by a commanding margin. Hillary Clinton denied again the opportunity of being a historic first woman president, a sad day for those people. But it was not only a loss for the presidency. The Republicans gained seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. They will still control the U.S. Senate. We are looking at a Congress and a presidency and a future Supreme Court that are all going to be controlled from that end of the spectrum. These will bring changes that will last for years and years to come. They hold implications for abortion, for gay rights, for taxation, for press access, for just any number of things, and that will only be developed. I don't mean to invoke fear and panic about it, but it's a simple fact that these things are going to change pretty dramatically. It does make one small change. It might bring heart to some people in Arkansas. I think unless Donald Trump does something terribly wrong in the next 4 years, Tom Cotton won't be running for president in 4 years. He's a young man in a hurry. He'll get another chance. And Mike Huckabee, for standing alongside Donald Trump throughout the campaign, certainly will be in line for a high office in a Trump administration if he chooses it. One outlet today said perhaps Secretary of Commerce. Hard to see Mike Huckabee taking a pay cut of that sort. Some are saying he might stick in Florida and try and run for governor down there. There's a lot more to be seen and a lot of speculation to come. The news wasn't any better in Arkansas. In fact, it was even worse. Of course, all 4 Republican congressmen held their seats, and John Bozeman beat Connor Eldridge, the Democratic challenger, by about 60 to 36 to hold his Senate seat. It seems that 36% is the ceiling for Democrats in Arkansas now, and that holds unpleasant implications for the years ahead. Hillary Clinton didn't even get 36% in her run for president. She ran behind Barack Obama 4 years ago. If there was any good news, and it's only a little bit, it was in Pulaski County, Arkansas, the state's largest. It remains strongly Democratic, largely because of a large minority population, it must be said. Hillary Clinton carried Pulaski County. Connor Eldridge carried Pulaski County. French Hill was reelected to a second term as congressman. He lives in Little Rock and Pulaski County, but for the second time he was defeated by voters in his home county, this time by an underfinanced, lightly known candidate named Diane Curry. She beat him nonetheless, but the suburban counties carried the day for him. Down the ballot, it was more of the same. There were no Democratic pickups in the legislature. The quorum court did stay at the same partisan divide. The one piece of good news we did find on the ballot was Cappy Peck's victory in the race for Ward 4 in the Little Rock Board of Directors. She's a proven progressive with a great record and a great willingness to work, and she'll bring some new life to the Little Rock City Board that certainly could use it. On ballot measures in Arkansas, the legislature passed all 3 it proposed, including a 65-35 margin on the corporate welfare amendment. That was expected, but we perhaps hoped for a little bit better. Pulaski County was a stronger no vote than some of the other counties were. Around the country, some things happened that might have implications for Arkansas. South Dakota voters approved a strong new ethics measure that requires disclosure of all independent expenditures in campaigns, that is, the sources of that money. This could be a great thing in Arkansas, but typically the Republicans oppose these sorts of things. The Coke money, which played actively in defeating some Arkansas Democratic legislators this time, fought the amendment in South Dakota, so it may be a long shot here. Some people will try. Those small numbers in the legislature that still exist, the Republicans now are at the 75% level in both the House and Senate. In the Arkansas legislature, it'll be hard for reformers to do much there. 3 states beat charter school initiatives in yesterday's election, including Massachusetts, where the Walton family from Arkansas had spent $2 million trying to take the cap off charter schools. A lot of people nationwide are beginning to believe that charter schools hold great peril for conventional public schools. They harm them when we ought to be putting more money into conventional public schools. Arkansas may be a lost cause already, but at least there are elements elsewhere in the country that are seeing the light. Governor Asa Hutchinson presented his budget for the next year to the legislature this morning, talked about it to reporters as well. It includes some small spending increases in some key areas, but not nearly as much as some people had hoped. He's talking about a new pay plan for state employees based on performance. That'll mean a loss of pay raises on a regular basis for some people. He also wants in the second year of the 2-year budget biennium a $50 million income tax cut, maybe more if we can find other places to cut spending or close some other tax loopholes. But there's a big wrinkle off in the future for Governor Asa Hutchinson's budgeting, and that is precisely Donald Trump's victory and the victory of the Republicans in both houses of Congress. The future of Obamacare is now severely in doubt. I think it will be repealed. It's going to be replaced with something that will perhaps be a block grant program of money to the states, but that will be less government spending to the states, less money to shore up the state budget, less money to cut taxes with. I think there's some real difficulties ahead, and actually there were some very conservative Republicans elected to the legislature that might be reluctant to go along with the continuation of the Medicaid expansion from Obamacare, known as either the Private Works or Arkansas Works. It could be a very interesting legislative session. Probably the biggest news in Arkansas was kind of contrary to the notion that conservatives ruled, but conservatives seem to like marijuana too. We approved by a pretty healthy margin, Issue 6, the amendment that will allow sale of marijuana for medical purposes. There are a lot of people lining up to get into the business. It could prove very lucrative for some people while providing some needed pain relief for others. There's a lot of political machinations involved in this. The Family Council of Arkansas, a staunch foe of marijuana, says it's going to fight for all kinds of legislation that will make it difficult to distribute the stuff, to prevent advertising and that sort of thing. The problem for them is that there's a lot of big money involved in this, and some of it has Republican fingerprints on it. Senator John Woods made it known yesterday that he was an original backer and helped write the medical marijuana amendment. He was an influential and very successful Republican senator who's not running again. Perhaps he'll have a role in future marijuana business. The amendment makes it hard to make legislative changes. We're going to have medical marijuana. It'll take 3 or 4 months at least before the rules can be good in place to move forward, but it's going to be an interesting story to see develop. Enough politics for me today. The Robinson Center, the $70 million renovation of our old WPA-era auditorium is just about finished. Press got a tour today. Look to Arkansas Blog tomorrow for some pictures of what the inside's going to look like. It's about to open with an Arkansas Symphony fundraiser and then orchestra concert. But we do have a picture on our blog today of a rather striking new statue. Take a look and see what you think about it. I'm thinking about going home early and maybe lifting a coal in there or do something. Or I wish medical marijuana was available for election season affected disorder. I think that's what I've got today. Good luck to the rest of you. I'll be back tomorrow, Donald Trump willing.